Hey, I'm back. There's another video. It's been a long time. My hair's shorter than last time, but I'm gonna talk to you today about an old school Silicon Valley company that you've probably never heard of. And we're gonna open a mystery box that I just received, and it's all related, and you'll find out all about it after you watch the intro. All right, thanks for watching the intro. Now with that out of the way, I want to start off by saying we have two channels now. We've got the Retro Toilet channel here, and we've also got Retro Landfill. And the Retro Landfill is going to be for commercials. So if you're looking for commercials, everything's over there now. All the new, well, not new, but the old commercials that I upload, everything is going to be over there now. This channel will be just for discussing old technology and things like that. So today we are going to start and talk about a company that, like I say, you've probably never heard of, and it's called Convergent Technologies. And I probably would never have heard of this before either, except that my dad worked there in the 80s. So we had company swag and stuff floating around the house for years and years, decades after that. I remember very specifically he had a hat that said Convergent Technologies on the front that he wore all the time, my dad. And I think there may have been t-shirts or some other stickers or something that were kind of around for a long time as well. I tried to find some of this stuff, but all I could come up with was this binder, which I think probably used to have some kind of manuals or something in it. Now it's home to my old Wing Commander cards. So this has been floating around for decades, and that's the only thing I could find with the Convergent logo still on it. Take a look at that logo. These little arrow things always kind of reminded me of Sark from Tron, little things on his helmet. I don't know why, but anyway. So why am I talking about Convergent Technologies now? Well, I recently visited my dad, and he gave me a bunch of, his old Convergent Technology stuff, which is going to be in that box. There's a product that we're going to open up and look. And this box has not been opened for probably decades. And who knows what shape it's in, but we're going to find out. I don't even know because I haven't opened it yet. He also gave me this, which is called Business Micro World, and this is basically a catalog that has various products and things that Convergent Technologies made, and I'll get into that now. So, if you don't know, and you probably don't, Convergent Technology was founded in Santa Clara, California, right in the middle of Silicon Valley in 1979. And it's founded by people that were former employees of Intel, which is another original centerpiece sort of Silicon Valley company. It was also founded by members or former employees of Xerox PARC. And if you don't know what that is, go look it up right now because it's important. And Xerox PARC is one of those things that's sort of the epicenter of everything Silicon Valley and so many technologies that you use or have used throughout your life, or that are, new technologies that are based on old technologies. It probably came from Xerox PARC at some point. And Xerox PARC is one of those things where it ended up not knowing what to do with the technology they developed. And so other companies like Apple or whoever ended up adopting those technologies and figuring out how to make money from those. So this is another one of those companies where people from Intel and PARC came together and created Convergent. They became what's called an OEM manufacturer of computers. And OEM stands for Original Equipment Manufacturer. And basically that means Convergent would design and build computers. And then other companies would take those computers and resell them to consumers, but they would put their own logo on it. So that's generally how it worked, but there were some consumer offerings that had the Convergent name right on it. So they did a little bit of both. They sold directly to people. If you wanted to buy a Convergent computer, you could, but a lot of them were rebranded and sold under other companies like AT&T and Burroughs, and there's a few other ones. I'll get into the divisions of the company and kind of talk about how it was structured. And first, and this is all research that I've done, the distributed systems division was responsible for workstation type systems that sat on the desk, and those were called the IWS, which came out in 1980, the AWS, which came out in 1981, and the NGen, which came out in 1983. And then there was the data systems division, and they were more of I guess it's sort of a data storage mainframe type of thing, and they called their system the frame. Everything had frame in the name of it. So the first one was the MightyFrame, and that was a computer that you could actually add. It had slots for adding additional CPUs onto. And then they came out with the MiniFrame and then the MightyFrame, and they all had, slots for adding different, expansions and whatnots onto them. Then there was the special project division, and they made primarily AT&T products, which included the AT&T Unix PC and the Personal Terminal 510. And then came the Advanced Information Products Division, and they were tasked with making low-price computer products. And their first project was called the WorkSlate. And the WorkSlate was a mobile computer that could operate spreadsheet programs and came with 16 KB of RAM and a built-in 300 baud modem. So it was released in November of 1983, and it sold in the American Express Christmas catalog. I don't know why they chose to just sell it there, but that's what they did. And it was meant to compete against the Tandy Model 100, which was released around the same time, or exactly the same time. And the Tandy 100 was a little bit, or pretty much the same shape and size. I think the WorkSlate's a little bit thinner. But it was generally same idea. The Model 100 had a modem in it as well, and it was meant for you to be able to type on, and you could send things over via a modem to other places. So they both had similar features and kind of was a similar market, I think. The WorkSlate was originally forecasted to sell 200,000 units, but actually only ended up selling 5,000-ish units. It was discontinued in July of 1984, so it didn't even last a whole year. And ultimately, the whole project lost the company $15 million. The bright spot, I think, or one thing that I like about it was actually featured in one of my favorite shows at the time, Airwolf. And if you look real closely, it built into the console of Airwolf, where usually Ernest Borgnine would sit, or whoever was the co-pilot on that episode. It was built right into the console because it looked all futuristic, and they would pretend to type on it, things like that. So I thought that's cool. I didn't find out about that till way after the fact, but cool thing about it. So why am I talking so much about the WorkSlate? Well, because I have one right here, and this is the unopened box that's been sitting at my dad's house for decades, and it's never been opened. And there's a high chance that the batteries have exploded in there, and maybe it's a big mess, but we're gonna open it up and see what's in there. All right, here we go. Let's unearth the treasures of the past here. See what we have. Ooh. All right, looks like we've got quite a bit here actually. So here is the WorkSlate sales guide. I guess so this tells you the features. This tells you about the company. Buyer profile. Here's who is the target market for the WorkSlate. A communicator, decision maker, and information processor. The typical buyer wants facts and figures literally at their fingertips, like single solutions to a set of business problems. I guess that single solution will be a spreadsheet, because I think that's all this thing does. It's a busy mobile person who needs an easy to use tool for instant information and decision making. So here are the target types: managers, executives, sales and service representatives, small business owners, consultants, and analysts. Okay. And then it goes into some of the applications. Sales benefits, features. Here's some how to demonstrate it, I guess. I think this is probably for, like, you know, salespeople to kind of go through and pitch this to potential buyers, I guess. So here's the current, they call it taskware, but I think it's just software. So there's a tax program, travel program, sales reporter, loan analysis, portfolio analysis, estate planning, financial statements, cash management, marketing management, business tax, and then here's the to be developed stuff, which probably never came out. Inventory, accounts receivable, accounts payable, time management. All right. Support line. I'm sure that's no longer active. Here's the specs. 64K ROM, 16K RAM, 60 keys including 5 soft keys. The display is 6 1/4 by 3 1/4 LCD, 46 characters per line and a total of 16 lines. 300 baud internal LSI modem with auto dial, auto answer features. I think we can use this as a phone, which if it still works, maybe we'll try that. Integral micro cassette recorder with digital and audio recording. 9600 baud serial interface port providing micro printer support, serial communications interface, and WorkSlate to WorkSlate communication. So I guess you can connect these to each other if you have more than one and communicate with each other. Optional COM port supports RS-232 and parallel interface, so I guess you have to buy a separate piece of equipment that gives you those ports. Power is 4 AAs or AC adapter or this NiCad option pack. And then here's a bunch of other stuff. Screen characteristics, 128 by columns by 128 rows. I think that's for the, here's the micro printer. Okay, so that's interesting. What are these? Hardware review. Interesting. Okay. So these I think are probably like, yeah, this is all sales related stuff, looks like. So that's cool. This is the AC adapter. That looks okay. Here's some, here's a serial to parallel converter. This looks like just kind of an aftermarket thing that probably kludged together for some use, I don't know what. Here looks like the user manual and reference guide, how to use it. And what are these? Here's the software. So this is the, I guess, what it came with, how it came in these little cases. This is still in the shrink wrap. This is the sales reporter software. What else have we got here? Oh, look at this. Micro cassettes. In the original packaging. It's pretty cool. It's probably not something you'll see anywhere. Whoa, what is that? Oh, this looks like a tape drive mechanism that I just dropped. Looks like it's still intact though. Got the belt and everything. Might need that later. Try to get this back in here. Okay, I'll put that over here. What else have we got? This looks like it goes with the battery pack thing. This looks like the ComPort add-on device. What else have we got in here? Let's look at. These look like, oh, more. So this is Convergent Technology, part number 10 tapes, basically. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's not 10 tapes. There's financial statements, loan analysis. And now for the final, we've even got the little piece of plastic that went over the screen. Let's take a look. This thing, it looks like it's seen a few better days. It's getting a little, the finish on this fake leather is a little not great. Let's see here. Ooh, there it is. What have we got here? Here's some the quick key summary. Okay. Should we try to turn it on? Let's see here. So here's the, let's see if it'll still eject. It's a little sticky. Let's not do that right now. So these keys still work. I like how the enter button is do it, which apparently is because their CEO used to spray paint the phrase do it on walls and things at the office. Oh, there's my dad's information. Quality assurance. Serial number. Should we open this thing up? Here's the kickstand. So this was a backup battery for, I think there's watch batteries that go in there. Oh good, he didn't store it with the batteries in it. That is smart. I'm glad. Otherwise that'd be all nasty. So this might actually still work. That means there's been no leakage probably inside. That tape drive probably Could be a problem though. Let's plug it in and see. Alright, this will be the first boot in probably 30 years for this thing. Maybe longer. Alright, well, we got something. It doesn't look like what it's supposed to display. You can see the display has just got a bunch of gibberish on it. So there's your answer. It does not work, unfortunately. Bummer. Oh, wait a minute. It's alive. Checking for data. Yeah, this tape drive is toast, I think. Let's see what's on this tape. Or if we can open this. This one jammed. Alright, let's get some tweezers here and see if we can pry this guy. Alright. What does this say? Expenses. Backup. Looks like we got tape over the recording thing. I guess that's so we can So I think I saw online that this pinch roller is not supposed to be like that. And that's why we've had difficulty here. Yeah, that tape drive is not working. You can see the head is going. It's not catching on what it's supposed to catch on. The head is coming up and down. It's trying to read, but the pinch roller I don't think is in the position that it's supposed to be in. So that's going to need some work, but it looks like all the other functions here. Let's see, what is phone, dial? So you can hear the speaker trying to, it says replace backup batteries. Oh, here's the calendar app. Doesn't look like there's anything on here. All right, well, there you have it. We have a semi-working WorkSlate. We've got the tape drive there, the eject here, which doesn't really work that well. These are all the buttons. You can see you can press special, and these are color coded. There's different alternative uses for some of these keys where you can see the color coding on that. Like the do it button is probably my favorite. That's instead of enter. Let's see, we've got a nice logo here. Pretty good shape. So on the side here, this is the display. It says, let me turn it around so you can see it here. So this says display, and if you turn this wheel, it adjusts the contrast, or I guess the brightness of the display. And then here we've got power, and then this is phone. Let's look on the other side here. So we've got phone, power, and peripherals. So as you can see, these are phone jacks. The peripheral one, you can see, has extra contacts on there. So I think this is more of a, I'm not sure what kind of cable you'd call that, but it's more conductors than looks like in a phone. This is the kickstand on the bottom here. Here is the label, the phone, the microphone, the earphone, so you could get your headset here and your mic here. And then this is the volume here, and then here it says internal microphone. And this is for the battery pack, and then this is, these are like watch batteries go in here. I don't know if anything's on there. I haven't been able to open that yet. And that's for the backup battery. So yeah, there you have it. This is a WorkSlate, one of about 5,000 made, and who knows how many left in the world today. Probably not too many. And this is in pretty good condition, I must say. It's a little bit of, I think these are probably a little yellower than maybe they originally were, but not too bad. All right, and we're gonna put this away, and maybe we'll work on it later to see if we can get that tape drive working. So here's a quick overview of the COM port device. That is a peripheral for the WorkSlate. Here we have the original box, and this is called the COM port WC-100. This is what it looks like. It's pretty much in mint condition. And we have the manual here. So let's take a look at the manual. This is everything that it can do, and this is kind of what it's for. You can use the ports to, it's got a serial port and a parallel port here, and you can use it to connect to computers, high-speed letter quality printers, modems, and anything else that uses RS232C serial interface. And so here's how it works. So here is a little trap door, and there's some dip switches in there, and there's a little chart. And what that tells you is how to configure the parallel port, and there's all sorts of things that are variable on these things, you know, parity, baud rate, handshake, etc. So I guess this is well, I guess you can connect both, or you can configure both the serial or the parallel with this. So you set that one on or off, and then you set these on or off depending on the settings that you want. So that's how that works. And here's more information about how all that goes. Here's connection, serial connection, parallel connection, and this is what it looks like. So as you can see, there's a port here on the back, which looks to be basically a network port, like a Cat5 or GA45, I believe it's called. I don't know if the wiring is the same as a network cable. It might be different, but it's the same connector type. So that connects from the peripheral port on the WorkSlate to the peripheral port on the COM port device, and that's how that works. And here's an example of it in action. It looks like a modem here and a full-size printer here, and this is sort of the control, master control of all of these things. And that's just having it hooked into a printer so you could print out your spreadsheets and things that you make. And the rest of this is troubleshooting, and here's some other alternate or optional accessories you can get. And look, there's a support place in Santa Clara. I'm sure that's still open. Yeah, so all the regulatory information in there, and that's what that looks like. And here's a little bit more on the device itself. Here's the front, here's the back, or the edge, I guess. This is the bottom. And that was what the label looks like. Pretty basic. In the front, nothing on either side. So yeah, that's overview of the peripheral. This is the only peripheral I have for this. I believe there was also made a small form factor printer. I think I have a picture of it somewhere, but that's the only other peripheral device that I know that exists, but I do not have that. But this is what I do have, and it's in pretty nice condition. So here's something cool about the tapes. Just wanted to point out this tape design. These are very small tapes, smaller than your average cassette tape here. This I thought was interesting. This design of the case itself. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 prongs here on the top, and then 3 on the bottom, which allows them to kind of snap together like Legos, and you can kind of keep them together, and you can break them apart. It seems like I don't know if this was a patented design or something by Convergent, but I thought it was kind of cool how they designed it that way. And it seems like these days it's not something you'll see really ever. So thought I'd point it out. Might be the last time you ever see something like this. So kind of a nifty design. And as you open the case here, it lifts the tape to allow you to pull it out easier. So nice design. So some time has passed since I filmed that first segment. I was originally planning on ending this video a little bit differently. My original plan, I wanted to actually call my dad using the phone function on the WorkSlate, kind of ask him some questions about working at Convergent Technologies. My dad's not a real big fan of talking on the phone, though, so that turned out to be a little bit more difficult than I anticipated. So we're not going to do that, at least not now. Maybe someday I'll be able to get him to sit down and talk to me about that, but not in the cards right now, unfortunately. But this video is already getting pretty long, so I think we're going to cut it there. I think this has been a pretty, at least for me, fun little trip back in time. And we opened a little bit of a time capsule with that old box there. And surprisingly, that WorkSlate still works, except for the tape drive, obviously. I don't think I'm gonna try to fix that. I think I'm just gonna leave it as is because let's be honest, even if I did fix it, I probably wouldn't really use it for anything. So I'm just gonna leave it alone as is. 'Cause the other thing is I don't even know if I can fix it. So that's the other part of it. So I think I'm just gonna leave it there and just have it be a my own little museum piece. So hopefully you like learning about it, and I will catch you on the next one.
All right, you know what? This was dumb. Dump it. Trash it. This was garbage.